Graded stakes racing continues, and this time we go to the spa. It's time to paint the canoe. It's the Midsummer Derby, the Travers Stakes from Saratoga. Let's take a look at this 8-horse field. 3-year-olds will be going 1.25 miles at the spa for the 3-year-old divisional championship. Starting off at the rail, we've got the 2-time Grade 1 winner, Cyberknife. He won the Arkansas Derby. He won the Haskell Stakes. He's trying to win the Haskell-Travers Double, which is not an easy task, going 1.125 miles to 1.25 miles on a 1-month break. Rich Strike upset the Kentucky Derby at 80-1. Flopped a little bit in the Belmont Stakes, been working steadily towards this race. Ain't Life Grand, the Iowa Derby winner, the Iowa Stallion Stakes winner. Big workout last weekend, 45 and change. He's got a little bit of speed to put in this race. Gilded Age is a deep closer for Bill Mott. He comes out of a second-place finish to Artorias. Meanwhile, Artorias won the Curlin Stakes. He's improving for trainer Chad Brown. Epicenter looking for a Grade 1 winner. He was the Kentucky Derby favorite, ran in the Preakness Stakes, won the Jim Dandy, the prep race over the track at Saratoga. Meanwhile, Early Voting, the Preakness Stakes winner, one of 3 horses for Chad Brown. And on the outside, it's Zandon for Chad Brown. He's lost to Epicenter almost 3 times now. He lost to him in the Jim Dandy. He lost to him in the Risen Star, and he also lost to him in the Kentucky Derby. But Zandon continues to fire big races. He ran a big race last fall in the Aqueduct at Aqueduct. Now this field, it's a pretty competitive field overall, although it looks like Epicenter most likely going to be favored in this race. And then you got Cyberknife and Zandon and Rich Strike probably rounding out that. Early Voting 8-1 on the morning line, but Epicenter clearly going to be favored. The top contenders are Epicenter, Early Voting, Cyberknife, and Zandon. Those are the horses that are going to be mixing it up. And when I look at my big questions for this race, Epicenter, he's looking for that Grade 1 win. He was favored in the Kentucky Derby, won the Jim Dandy. That's a plus. He got the prep win over the track at Saratoga. 10 Furlongs, he's got to win at that distance yet. And a lot of times the winner of the Travers Stakes will then move to the head of that 3-year-old division. So this is a big race for Epicenter, although his speed figures aren't that much higher than any of the other main contenders. Now Cyberknife, he's got a big win at the Haskell on a very fast track, so his speed figure may be a little bit inflated. I thought he had a nice race in the Arkansas Derby when he rushed up between horses. He's shown some talent. He's been working out extremely well, I thought, from the XBTV workouts the last time out. 1.125 miles is probably his best distance. He beat Taba the last time on the square, although he did have an inside trip in that race, the Haskell. Cyberknife training forwardly for the Travers Stakes for trainer Brad Cox. Now, I do think with an 8-horse field, which isn't really a big field, it's been bigger than some of the other races we've had. It only had a small field in the Jim Dandy, a smaller field in some of the other 3-year-old prep races. I think it benefits Epicenter, Zandon, and Cyberknife with that little bit bigger field. We also get a speed horse in Early Voting. We get a little extra speed in there with Ain't Life Grand, who I liked his workout last week. He's got some speed at Prairie Meadows, but does that Prairie Meadows speed transfer here to Saratoga at that Grade 1 class level? And people forget Epicenter used to show speed as well early on in his 3-year-old season. So they've been training him to come a little off the pace. He broke a little bit slow in the Preakness Stakes. He may show a little bit more speed here in the Travers Stakes, especially going a longer distance. Now the Grade 1 winners, we've got Cyberknife, a 2-time Grade 1 winner. We've got Rich Strike, the Kentucky Derby winner, and then Early Voting, the Preakness Stakes winner. Technically, Epicenter is only a Grade 2 winner. And then, of course, the Bluegrass Stakes, you had Zandon winning that. He's got a Grade 1 winner, so he's got a nice win at that Grade 1 class level. Cyberknife, of course, won the Haskell, trying to complete the Travers Double. Got a nice pedigree for 1.125 miles to 1.25 miles. He's by Gun Runner and we'll see if he can get the job done here at 1.25 miles. And you've got Rich Strike. Rich Strike, of course, won the Kentucky Derby at 80-1, but that really was his best race. He's been working forwardly, worked out on August 1st, worked out on August 10th, but trying to get back after kind of a disappointing effort in the Belmont Stakes. He was bet down to 4-1 that day and never really fired against Mo Donegal. Ness came out of that race, though, to win back-to-back races against fillies at Saratoga. So Rich Strike got a lot to prove that he can get back to that grade 1 level at the that he ran at the Kentucky Derby when he took a little bit of an advantage of that fast pace. Of course, Epicenter laid off that pace that day. Then Epicenter broke a little bit slow. So when I look at the pace of this race, I think that's where it could be some of the key questions are going to be answered. You've got early voting potentially setting the pace. Ain't Life Grand could be up on the front end. I anticipate a little bit moderate to fast pace, because I think with those two, now if Epicenter goes up there, then you could have a very steady pace. But Epicenter, you know, he's been pointing at a target here the last couple of races. He chased the speed in the Kentucky Derby. I think Cyberknife runs his best race. He got kind of sucked in to a fast pace in the Kentucky Derby while running wide. He's been working forwardly. Again, if they go 112 and change, you could see Epicenter and Cyberknife up there as well. I think Zandon and Rich Strike and Artorias are kind of the come from off the pace type horses. Artorias, I think, took advantage of a closer's racetrack in the Curlin, and also Gilded Age came from running off the pace in that race. So the pace of this race could be a little bit on the fast side. I think, you know, Epicenter going to be bet down to roughly 6-5. I'm not sure how much speed figure wise he has an edge really over Zandon and maybe early voting and even Cyberknife, who seems to be getting good at this time. Now, my top selection in the Travers Stakes, I'm going to go with the speed of the race. I'm going to go with early voting. I think he could lay just off that pace of the front runner in this race, Ain't Life Grand. I thought his Jim Dandy was good. I thought the track favored closers and horses running off the rail that day. He was kind of stuck on the lead in a 4-horse field. I think going a longer distance, turning around in the 4 to 5 week turnaround, he could show a little bit more speed. I want a little bit of a price in this race just because I don't think Epicenter is that much better than these horses. I'm going to play him over Zandon, Epicenter, and Cyberknife in the exacta. If you want to do an exacta box, you could do Cyberknife, Zandon, and early voting as your exacta box, and maybe try to toss Epicenter, who may be a little bit underlaid. It's definitely a competitive Travers Stakes, the Midsummer's Derby. We've already got a preview up of the personal ensign. We took a look at the Travers early look, a big card that day. Don't forget, Thursday night, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. We're going to go through all the Grade 1 races on Saturday at Saratoga. It's our Travers Day Saratoga study guide as we look at the big card on Saturday. Who do you like in the Travers Stakes? Leave a comment. Who do you think is going to be the speed of the race? Is it going to be Epicenter? Is it going to be Ain't Life Grand? Or is it going to be early voting as we get you ready for the 2022 Travers Stakes?